Hey Joe, long time no see. What are all these boxes doing here?
Oh, hello, Mr. Pathman. It's actually your latest DVD, and I'm sharing them with my network. I'm so excited. I'm shipping these out to Africa. I got some for Asia. I got Australia over here. Look at all these for going to America.
Unbelievable, Joe. I'm so happy to find out that you're distributing our training material all over the world. I need more people like you out there in our network. And if you keep up this good work, I'm very sure that next year V Studios are going to create so much more. Hello? Mods? Yeah, I'm coming. I'm just around the corner. 15 minutes, I'll be there. Same place. See you there. Bye. Where did I put it? Where is it? Ah, here it is. Well guys, I've got some great news and some bad news. I just met an IR called Joe and I just found out that the past 1 year we have distributed over 5 million of my DVDs all over the world. The bad news is V Studios is shutting down tomorrow. Remember guys, duplicate good deeds, not DVDs. Buy original. Guys, welcome to another video, alright, from V Studios. Firstly, allow me to introduce myself if you don't already know me. My name is Pathman. I'm a V partner and MD of the V. Now this training module which you're going to watch for the next 45 minutes is simply called Erasing Your Lines. Now interesting title, I know. My journey in network marketing since 1998 until today has been an unbelievable journey. And I have to give a lot of thanks to my mentor and upline, Dato Vijay Ishwaran. Now, a lot of people think that an upline's role is to teach you about network marketing, right? Teach you about the products, teach you about the compensation plan. But my upline, Dato Vijay Ishwaran, didn't focus that much on that. He focused on me, Pathman. He focused on the way I think, how I need to change the way I think in order to prepare me for success. Now, along your journey from the day you signed up till the day you achieve what we call financial freedom in the industry, a lot of things happen to you. You, sitting there watching this video, a lot of things have to happen to you. Bottom line, you have to change. Now, this module is based on my journey with my upline, Dato Vijay Ishwaran. A lot of people told me over the years that you're so lucky to get Dato as your upline. He must have taught you so much, shared with you so much wisdom. But the truth is, what he did was to erase a lot of lines in my mind to change the way I think. Now, if you're watching this video right now, sitting at home, or in a training, whether you're 1 day old, 3 months old, or 3 years old in the business, or 5 years old in this business, this module still applies to you. So sit back, relax, empty your cup, and listen to everything I have to say, but most importantly, understand what I have to say. And then after watching the video, most importantly, you have to start to apply it, in your journey with QNet. Now, all of you, have a journey. And I'm going to describe this journey right here at the bottom, okay? We're going to be using this board a lot. So you start your journey, and at some point, you finish your journey, in life. Now, to me, everyone is born. Even if you're a test tube baby watching this, you were born, technically speaking. Somewhere along the line, you started going to school, okay? After school, you basically went to a university, then most probably you got a job, and somewhere along this journey, somebody showed you the QNet business, Somebody shared with you the compensation plan, all about QNet, the products and everything else, and suddenly QNet came into your life. Now, whatever stage you are right now, okay, you saw QNet at some stage of your life. So don't get confused. Maybe you saw QNet somewhere here, or maybe you saw QNet somewhere here. Doesn't matter. I'm just doing this for illustration. And when you started your journey with QNet, your ultimate goal was ultimately to reach a point what we call financial freedom. Right? Now, financial freedom is a word we widely use. I'm sure you heard it from all the videos, all the trainings, and your upline must have talked to you about it so many times. Bottom line, financial freedom is reaching that ultimate goal where you don't worry about money, where your dreams, all right, become a reality. And the truth of the matter, the money you make from this business helps you make your dreams become a reality. Now, this whole journey revolves around what? You. Similarly, my journey from 1998 till today, all right, in this company, in this business, was more about me than anything else. And I'm going to explain the whole module, erasing your lines or erase your lines. All right? Now, this is you. I'm not a very good artist, but I'm going to do the best I can. All right? Now, this is you right here. All right? With a nice smiley face. We put a little bit of hair. All right? You'll never be as good looking as me, but this is the best I can do. All right? So this is you. Simply. All right? Now, I want to go back to this journey. From the time you were born till QNet or closer to financial freedom, you actually evolve. You change. Think about it. You were born, you went to school, you went to university. Everyone here told you study hard, get a job. All right? And you did that. When you're in a job, everyone says work hard, so you get promoted. Okay? But ultimately, from this point to this point, all right, your life changed tremendously. From the time you were school to university, there was a major difference in your environment. But I'm not talking about your environment, I'm talking about you. What happened? All right? Let's say you were born. All of us are born with predetermined lines drawn in our minds. All right? So these are the lines. Okay, now I want you to really focus on this. These are the lines. From the time you were born, there's a line drawn in your mind that you're not going to walk. All right? Because from the time you're born, you lay down, you turn to your side, you turn to your chest, you started to crawl. Now, every stage of your growth, what exactly happened here, all right, to your thought process, to your belief system, was simply these lines, all right, got erased. Let me give you an example. When you were a baby, you were crawling. You crawled on the floor, wherever you are, in the Middle East, in the desert, in Africa, in the jungles, in Malaysia, on the streets, doesn't matter. But you crawl. Now, walking was here. Right? So as a baby crawling, you saw a lot of people walk around you. And you said, hey, how come they're walking, I'm not? Right? Is it possible for me to walk? Now, at some point, you tried to stand, you grab on something, and all babies take the first step. Now, that first step, parents go gaga goo goo, handicam, everything. But what happened in the child's mind was this line was erased. All right? And the line became bigger in your mind. That box you were caught in, trapped in, suddenly expanded and walking became possible. Now it's the norm. Right? Now for a child, suddenly running is here. So what happens to a child as it goes through his journey, this line gets erased, right? The box gets bigger, and now the child starts to run. Now I want you to think about this. This happens in the mind, right? There's no exactly box around your head like I drew here, but that's a matter of fact. Now here, that's how you grew up. You went to school, your line became bigger here. Right? You went to university, you learned much more, your line became bigger. You started to expand and you got out of your comfort zone. Now the similar concept or theory Dato' Vijay taught me applies to my journey from here to here. Alright? So the remainder of this, I'm going to be focusing in your journey from QNet, from the time you started to the point you want to achieve financial freedom. What happens to you? So we erase the baby, okay, and we go back to your journey in QNet. Now, remember, this is you. When you start your journey in QNet, you already have a box. All right? In the box, there is something called job. Something you go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home. You die broke after 40 years of working. That's the reality. All right? So the job you accept, you know how to do your work, you go to an office, you come back, you get paid a salary. All right? Suddenly somebody showed you the QNet plan and told you that, hey, why don't you do business? Now think about this. Where is business? It's outside your box. All right? So I tell people, when you're presenting the plan, everyone focuses on giving information, showing the products and all that. What exactly are you doing? You're not sharing information. You are trying to convince that person ultimately to erase a line in his mind, all right, to accept the fact that now he can do business, that he can become an entrepreneur, that this is possible. And that's the moment somebody signs up. So if you really want to look at the psychology of it, what happens to your prospect when they sign up? Right? You convince them to give you money and buy a product and become an IR? Or did you convince them to erase a line which has been limiting them for the longest time to now accept the fact that go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home is not their life anymore? That there is a possibility that they become a business owner, right? They become an entrepreneur, that they make money, right? And that is when the line is erased and it expands here. That's what's happened to you the day you sign up with QNet. Business, network marketing, MLM, whatever you want to call it, all right? But that's exactly what happened here. So to me in 1998, when I saw this plan, all right, like most of you, I said, hey, I got to get a good job, get a good salary, work very hard to get promoted. All right? But when I saw this plan, I heard Dato Vijay speak every day in front of 50, 60 people in the early days. Right? What Dato Vijay did was he erased, the first process he did was erase that line in my mind that there is a possibility that I now can become a businessman, a businesswoman. I can become an entrepreneur. I'm not going to be a businesswoman. I can become a businessman. I can become an entrepreneur. I can do this. It's within my box because my box has grown bigger. A new line was created to include entrepreneurship, becoming a networker, which didn't exist before that. Now, after you're signing up, right, you start to do the business, okay, and your box is different, right? You're here, the lines are drawn again, and here is QNet. Voila, it becomes part of your life. Now, the danger is, or the mistake most people make is this. Once QNet is in their box, they think, done. I'm a networker. Now let me wait for financial freedom to happen. All right? Now, the longer you wait with the existing lines in your mind, what happens? Your lines become thicker. Your lines become harder to erase. They become broader. All right? And eventually, most of you will have lines as thick as this. All right? Which is almost impossible or difficult to erase. All right? And you end up living in that box for a long time. All right? And it becomes your comfort zone. When it becomes your comfort zone, all right, you end up living there, all right, thinking you are on the right path, thinking your thought process is correct, thinking everything is okay, and you wait for something to happen without you actually changing the way you think or erasing any more lines in your mind. Now, the comfort zone is the biggest disease in our business. I have seen great potential networkers fail in our business because they thought, done, I'm in QNet. All right? Now I follow this guidance for my uplines. I watch DVDs. I buy brochures. I become a product specialist. All right? And I go out there and I just do what I have to do every day. No. If you want your business to grow, you have to grow. That's my philosophy. So Pathman in 1998 is very different from Pathman today. Pathman in 1998 was an absolute moron with a dream. All right? It's a book I wrote. You can get it also. Right? But today, Pathman has changed. What has changed? Besides the fact that I've actually become better looking, all right, I've also changed the way I think. My box today, when I started QNet, was here. Today, my box is bigger than this room. All right? My lines have been pushed further and further and further away, allowing me to do bigger and greater things on my journey from QNet to financial freedom. All right? Now, think about this. You start QNet, you follow the system, you listen to your upline, you watch the DVDs, you follow everything, and you earn $250. Okay? That's your check. And you said, unbelievable. I earned some money. Alright? Now the question is, $250 is the minimum check you earn. Now everyone wants growth in network marketing, because with $250 a week, you won't be able to enjoy and make your dreams a reality and become financially free. Now the question is, let's say your next goal in your journey in QNet was $1,000. Now $1,000 doesn't exist in your box. It doesn't exist within your lines. Alright? Because $250 is already in your lines, it becomes your comfort zone. That means you wake up every day and say, I'm earning $250, I'm okay. Because you are living in that box. Now what happens is, $1,000 is out here. It's outside your line. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how many presentations you show, no matter everything you do, the question is, you cannot accept the fact that $1,000 is possible. Now, I'm not trying to be a psychiatrist or your shrink, but the bottom line, if you don't believe you can earn $1,000, if you don't have a desire strong enough that you want to earn $1,000, and if you don't think it's remotely possible, you can jump, scream, and do anything, and still you won't earn $1,000 because you are living in this box. Welcome, you're living to the 250 box. So when you live in the $250 box, all right, you need to basically move to the $1,000 box. Now to move to the $1,000 box, once again, what you have to do? All right, you have to erase this line, which has been very thick. You have to erase this line, all right, and form a new line, which now includes $1,000. Okay? Now, a lot of people ask me, Pathman, it looks very scientific and very intelligent, all right? But here's the question, all right? How do I erase the line? Now, let me ask you a question back again, and listen very carefully to my very sexy voice, right? How badly do you want $1,000? Right? I know you want $1,000. I don't think there's anyone on planet Earth who's earning $250, and I ask the person, do you want to make $1,000? What do you think the answer is going to be by the majority of normal people? Yes. All right, I want $1,000. But the question is, how badly do you want it? Because erasing the line requires effort. Erasing the line requires a lot of time, all right, requires a thought process, and requires you to actually, all right, be humble enough, all right, and surrender, okay, and to change. So I keep telling people, if you're arrogant and you think you know everything, and if you think you're right, you will die with a $250 check for the rest of your life. If you're willing to change, if your cup is empty, if you're willing to learn, all right, there is a higher possibility of somebody like Dato Vijay coming into your life to erase the line. Okay, now, please don't misunderstand. He doesn't go into my head and rub off the line. He talks to me. I counsel with him as my mentor and upline. And he erases the line, and suddenly, all right, and then suddenly, this line is gone. And what's my check for the next 1 week or the next few months? It's $1,000. But Pathman or you really, 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 really have to have the desire for $1,000. Because I've traveled around the world over the past few years, and I met a lot of people who tell me their dreams, right? And I'm sure you're sitting right there, your uplines have sat with you, you watch the 8 basic building blocks, right, where you watch a very good-looking Malaysian guy train you for 2 hours or something, and the first basic building block is dreams. I'm sure right now you have a piece of paper with your dreams on it, all right? The problem is everything you wrote on your dream list, okay, is outside your box. So let's say you wrote Ferrari, all right, and right now you're driving a Toyota, and you've been driving the Toyota for 5 years. So where's the Toyota? In your comfort zone. Where's the Ferrari? Ferrari, most probably here. How far from the line which already exists in your mind? Now, I think 9 out of 10 networkers, guys especially, when I meet them anywhere in the world, what's your dream car? Ferrari, chief. All right, I want a Ferrari. Okay? Wanting a Ferrari simply means that it exists somewhere outside your box. Getting it requires you to erase the line. Erasing the line requires first the desire so big that you really, 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 really want that Ferrari. Right? Now, I know a lot of people in network marketing who hit a certain check, like 1,000 US a week, right? Which is good. I'm not doubting it, but not good enough for financial freedom. It's simply good enough for you to sustain a better lifestyle. And I observe when I look at the database of QNet, when I meet my leaders around the world, there's some people earning 1,000 US a week for 3 years. Okay? Good, stable network earning income. But they're great networkers. They're leaders. They go up on stage and say unbelievable and everyone listens to them. Right? But the point is, why are they stuck at 1,000 US dollars? Right? Coming back to this wonderful, wonderful statement here called the comfort zone. Because the minute 1,000 US dollars becomes their comfort zone, what happens to the line? It becomes very thick. The line becomes very thick to the point that it's almost like a picture frame. Alright? Now, I'm going to do a scientific research here. Okay? Now, this is a thin line. It's a line. Very simple. Right? This is a thick line. Okay? Similar to what this $1,000 check guy has already built over 3 years. Now for me to erase a thin line is just like that. Right? For me to erase a thick line, I need more effort. It takes a longer time to clear the thing. Right? So most people in today's world of networking, most people in QNet, right, live in a certain comfort zone where the income they're earning have forced them to create a thick line which limits them never to be able to earn more, never be able to earn a Ferrari or drive a Ferrari simply because they live in a comfort zone. Right? So you're right there sitting. If you're brand new in the business, you're damn lucky to watch this now. So you start your journey the right way. If you're 3 years in the business and everything I said actually connected and related to you, wake up and smell the coffee. Doesn't mean you're lazy. Doesn't mean your uplines are moron, never gave you enough information. Doesn't mean you don't know how to show the plan. Doesn't mean I know some really brilliant networkers who are still stuck at 1,000 US a week simply because their desire, for example, to earn 5,000 US dollars is not strong enough. Right? Their cup is not empty enough. Right? But this is very vital for you to understand. Is it possible to earn 5,000 US dollars? Yes. Wake up and smell the coffee once again. You were earning 250. Suddenly you're earning 1,000 US dollars. I bet you when you were earning 250, you were like, whew, unbelievable. I'm the richest guy on planet. I remember when I got my first check, I said, this is it. If I earn this every week, I'm set for life. Then Dr. Vijay sat with me and said, Pathman, do you want to earn 10,000 US dollars? I said, yes, Dato, of course. I want to earn 10,000 US dollars. Then wake up and smell the coffee. Right? How badly do you want to earn 10,000 US dollars? So a guy who's been stuck at 1,000 US dollars for 3 years, right? Is he going to earn 5,000 US dollars? Yes. The only way possible is if he erases the line and include 5,000 US dollars into his belief system, into the realm of possibility. Right? So all of you live in this box, lines drawn in your mind, right? Either by society, either by your upbringing, either by your arrogance, self-drawn lines, which you created on your own over the years, right? Or simply imposed by the morons around you who say, you, Pathman, 5,000 US dollars? Because when I was young, I'm still young, when I was younger, all right, okay, and I had these dreams. You have no idea how I used to talk. If you think I talk a lot now, I used to talk much more when I was younger. I used to tell my mom, all right, Mom, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to fly around the world, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to do this, that. My mom, all right, was unbelievable. Because she said, yes, you can, all right, but she always added, but you got to work hard. Like everyone's mother. But there were morons around me who said, Pathman, are you kidding? You, a boy from Teluk Intan, Malaysia, going to be rich one day? right? So what people do around you every day, majority of people, they try to draw lines to limit you, right? And your uplines, your mentors, the people in your networking group, all right, the V, your upline, all right, they try to erase the lines, right? So I know somebody who used to earn 1,000 US a week and now earns 250. That means his checks drop from 1,000 a week to 250 a week. What happened? What happened? He became lazy. He had problems. He had challenges. His market had a political crisis, all right? Or his top leader, crossed over to another company. Doesn't matter. But what happened in his mind is this. What happened in his mind is from 1,000 US here, all right? So you had a line which you're earning 1,000 US dollars. All right? The person I'm talking about had a $1,000 check a week. The line was obviously inclusive in the box was 1,000 US dollars. Suddenly, right, whatever happened, his checks dropped to 250. All right? Now a line is drawn, bringing him back to his original box of 250. Now please observe very, very well. I drew a dotted line. All right? That means it's a temporary line, easier to erase. The chances of going back to the original line is better, all right? Higher chance of him going back to 1,000 US a week. But the problem is if you stay too long at 250, this line suddenly becomes a complete line. You stay another 3 weeks at 250 without pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, this line becomes very thick again, all right? And that is what happens to a lot of people in this industry. All right, the people whose income drops. Now, my income has dropped many times for various reasons. But what happens to me is I don't allow it to last that long for this line to come back. To me, my income drops. Next week, I pump it up again. All right, now you're asking, what is pump it up again? That means wake up and smell the coffee and work harder than you ever worked in your life. Show personal plans. Call your mother-in-law. Call all your leaders. Have emergency meetings. Do whatever you can ASAP to avoid that dotted line to become this thick line. Because the minute it becomes a thick line, hey, what do? Go and see Dato. Right? If I knew this concept earlier, what Dato was doing, I would have just gone to his house every time my checks drop and said, Dato, my checks drop. But it's been 6 weeks, line very thick, please erase it. So if you think about it, every time I sat with Dato for counseling, all right, basic building block number 7, counsel your upline. Whenever I counseled my upline, I basically sat there and said, please erase my lines. It's holding me back. So what happens is Dato always erase my lines fast enough that I go back to 1,000 US. All right? Now from 1,000 US, when I went to 5,000 US, I had to erase this line. It happens every day. So if you stay long enough in an income group, right? If you stay long enough without growth, if you stay long enough in a specific income, mark my words, you will end up staying there for a long time. Coming back to the fact, it becomes your comfort zone. You sort of accept the fact that this is how much I'm going to earn from QNet. All right? And your mind is very, very tricky. It plays tricks on you, and the lines become very beautiful with lights and bulbs and all that, and you actually like it. You stand there like a moron and say, I love my lines. It's so beautiful compared to the other guy's lines. And your income never grows. So now 5,000 US dollars. Okay? Now you know in QNet there are people earning 30,000 US dollars a week. See? You went like, wow. Why? Why did you say wow? All right? When I said there are people earning 30,000 US dollars a week, you went like, wow, you may be earning 250 most probably. All right? And why 30,000 is a wow? Because 250 line, where's 30,000? Here. Where are you? Here. All right? So people who live in these small boxes always say wow when they see something so far away. But what you fail to understand, my leaders around the world who are earning 30,000 US dollars a week started just like this. The only difference between you and them is they made their lines and made their box much bigger to include 30,000 US dollars. Now, when I talk to this guy 30,000 US dollars, he doesn't say, wow, I'm earning 30,000 US dollars. He says, I'm earning 30,000 US dollars. All right? If I tell this guy earning 30,000 US dollars, that there's somebody out there earning 100,000 US dollars. If somebody's out there earning 100,000 US dollars, you know what he's going to say? Exactly what you said. Wow. Because it's so far. And if this guy earning 30,000 US dollars wants to earn 10,000 US dollars, can you imagine how many lines he has to erase? How many lines he has to erase before he includes 10,000 US dollars in his income? All right? Erase, 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 erase. Then 10,000 becomes possible. What is erasing the lines? Sitting with your upline. Right? Changing the way you think. Changing your strategy in network marketing. Emptying your cup. Be willing to learn. Not always thinking what you're doing may be the right thing. But sometimes the right thing for today may not be the right thing next month. The right thing last year may not be the right thing next year. Right? So change is inevitable. Right? Now think about other aspects of network marketing. Let's say you started and you are networking in Malaysia, where I am from, right? And you only think local. Malaysia. Right? I'm going to network in Malaysia, 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 Malaysia. You meet me somewhere and I say, hey, how's your network? Where have you gone? Have you gone global? All right, there's another video, all right, start local, go global, done by a very good looking Malaysian also. All right. And I asked you, have you gone global? And you said, no, Chief, Pathman, I'm here in Malaysia. Unbelievable market. Right? So I said, hey, why don't you consider going to Dubai? Where's Dubai? Here. Your thought process doesn't even allow you to comprehend that. Right? Because it's out of your box. Now, for you to be able to go Dubai, what do you have to do? Once again, you got to erase lines. You got to erase these lines, include Dubai into your thought process. And that's how many people went global. I never believed 1 minute that I would have a network all over the world. And I was building Malaysia, right? Very successfully, very happy, making a lot of money. And then I went to Dato Vijay with my lines, okay? Malaysia only, right? Born, die, Malaysia. Make a lot of money. I went to Dato Vijay and I said, Dato, I have a prospect in London. It's not that I went there with new material. I just accepted the fact that London was possible, that I can go global. And after that, I went all over the world to various countries. Simply because Dato Vijay took the time to convince me to erase a line in my mind. So right now, you're sitting there right now. Many of you, okay? Let me erase this. Many of you are sitting there right now, okay, watching this video with various lines in your mind. You already have these predetermined lines, okay? Okay? Right now, you have these predetermined lines in your mind. So, this is your lines. Sitting there watching the video. What's in the box? I really don't know. Maybe it's a $250 check. All right? Or maybe you just got started and you accepted QNet that you become a networker. Maybe you just started local in your country or in your locality. All right? What's the next step? There's another line there. Another one there. Another one there. All right? And if you look at every stage, right, here's a $500 check. Right? Here's a $1,000 check. Here is a $5,000 check. All right? Here is local. Here is Dubai. Here is Africa. Right? Here is Portugal. Whatever countries. Now, for you to grow in this business, right, you don't have to be smarter. You don't have to get a PhD. You don't have to think more than you're thinking right now. You simply have to accept the fact that the minute you erase these lines, you start to grow. Right? And erasing the lines simply require you, once again, you must have the desire. Because erasing a line means desire. No desire, no progress. Right? So if you came into this business with a comfort zone mindset, right, and you think now you are set free because you accepted networking, you're absolutely wrong. Because networking, as I proved here, all right, has its own comfort zones. And I know a lot of people stuck in their own comfort zones even after becoming a networker. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to wake up and smell the coffee, right? So I speak to leaders all around the world, right? And they come and tell me, this is my income, chief. You know, this is my network, left, right, and all that. And I see progress. From the time I met them maybe 3 years ago until today, I see progress. The question is, where will they be the next 3 years? If they don't erase their lines, they'll be stuck exactly where they are today, in their very own comfort zone. So very important for you to accept the fact that from your journey up to QNet, many lines were erased. From crawling to walking, to studying, to getting a degree, to getting a job, to getting married, to falling in love. Right? Your mind just expanded, your realm of possibility became bigger, and suddenly, boom, somebody showed you the QNet business. And now you said, I can become an entrepreneur. I have a chance of making my dreams into a reality. Right? And a lot of people who start QNet never progress one day, never even got a check. We call them the dropouts. Okay? Like university. A lot of people drop out in the beginning and they give all kinds of excuses. You know, I can't continue because I don't think it's a good company, I don't like the products, I don't have time, my mother-in-law, blah, 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 blah. Wake up and smell the coffee. The simple reason why they dropped out, right, is because they couldn't erase the lines. They couldn't change the way they think. They thought they did, but they did not. Right? So it's fundamentally important that from the time you start your journey, from here to financial freedom, the most important fundamental thing that's going to happen to you is the lines in your mind have to be constantly erased and redrawn. After you draw it, you erase again and you draw one further away. After you draw it, you erase and you draw one further away. All right? Ultimately, until you reach this point. When you reach this line of financial freedom, then welcome to our world. Welcome to a world where we wake up and don't worry about money. So if you want to attribute anything to my success as Pathman Senatiraja today standing here, all right, and you're watching me, I'm financially free today. Not because I'm better than you. Not because I'm more intelligent than you. Trust me. Most of you are better, more qualified than me. It's simply because I was willing to allow somebody like Dato Vijay to erase the lines in my mind. I surrendered to allow him to erase the lines in my mind to the point of financial freedom. Now, you think this is it? The end of the journey? Pathman Senatiraja is here, dancing around, flying around the world, still good looking and having a lot of fun. No, right? Dato Vijay doesn't permit me to get stuck here. Now he's erasing these lines. He's erasing these lines, all right? And making me now draw my lines further away. All right? Like going up on the stage and talking to 10,000 people at a VCon. Never, 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 never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be standing on stage and sharing with 10,000 people. But it's possible. All right? Today he's putting me in charge of so many projects where I'm responsible for millions of lives in the network, in QNet, in the V family. All right? And in order for me to be effective at what I do, Dato Vijay constantly pushes my line further, 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 further away, making me think bigger, making me accept the fact that the realm of possibility for Pathman Senatiraja is huge, huge. And I want to convey the same message for you. First, you need this, right? Because you end up drawing lines anyway, right? But this is not very important. What is most important is this, because this erases the line. Who is this? Your upline, your mentor, all right? Your team, the V, right? Because as long as you learn the art of constantly erasing your lines and not be stuck in a comfort zone, you will become an unbelievable networker. Financial freedom will no longer just be a word, it becomes reality. So welcome to my world, a world where lines are drawn constantly but equally erased constantly. So I grow with the business. Welcome to a whole new world of understanding network marketing, the V.